About a month ago, I did a whole gaming computer inside this case. It's a very cheap $30 case from Raidmax, the Ghost. After building 2 computers in it, I have to say it's one of the worst cases I've ever worked in, and I highly recommend you spend a little bit extra money on something different and better. Anyway, today's content, I took out the $280 computer I put in here with the Ryzen 1200 and the ASRock motherboard. I did tell you that I'm going to be doing a custom mod to this computer, and that's still in the works. But today we're just going to be doing the new upgrades that I've done to this system to make it perform a little bit better, but still very cheap. So with all the new parts that we've put in this system, this has went from a $280 gaming computer to a $400 gaming computer. And it's not just an upgrade, it's almost like a whole new computer just in that same horrible case from Raidmax. We upgraded the processor, the motherboard, and the graphics card. I even put a whole new power supply in here. I moved the $280 gaming computer into a different case, which I plan on doing a review on later. The motherboard that we upgraded to is the Asus X470 Prime motherboard. 2 reasons I chose this motherboard: it was on sale at Micro Center for less than $100, so I had to go with it. And then also I thought it fit the theme of the mod that I'm going to be doing for this case, which, if you have not yet noticed, there is a hint in this video as to what the mod will end up being for this case. And then the next upgrade we went with is our processor. We went from the Ryzen 3 1200 4-core 4-thread processor, which I got for like $40. Now I've upgraded it to the Ryzen 5 2600X, which was on sale at Micro Center when I purchased it for $80. It is now back up to, I believe, either $90 or $100 at Micro Center at this point. At any length, if you're going to be shopping for a motherboard and processor and you're near a Micro Center, definitely be shopping at Micro Center. You cannot beat their prices anywhere for motherboard and processors, especially with their bundle deal. But their processors are already $30 to $50 cheaper than they are anywhere else. And finally, I did upgrade the graphics card. I bought a used one. It's from an eBay seller that I've bought about 5 different graphics cards from now. But anyway, he does sell just bulk items, and he was selling this R9 Fury for $75. In fact, I think I got it for $75 as a best offer price. Right now, he's still selling an R9 Fury for about $98 or best offer. So maybe go and offer him about $75 and you can have an R9 Fury. They are a little bit better performing than an RX 580. So I do highly recommend these cards for budget builders. And I did say that I upgraded the power supply, and that is true. I went from a 650 watt that I got for about $29 off of EVGA's Midweek Madness. Did another EVGA Midweek Madness sale and got a 750 watt one for $50. I only bought it because I just needed another one, because I would be moving the $280 gaming computer into the next case. And I figured with the R9 Fury would definitely need a boost in power supply power, so I went with the 750 watt, which I think is going to be a smart move with the R9 Fury because it does suck up a lot of power. As I said, I did install everything in the same case as the $280 gaming computer. I'm only keeping this case around because I think it's a nice empty canvas to do my mods for our new themed computer that I'm going to be doing. Other than that, everything about this case was terrible. It came with not enough standoffs to support an ATX motherboard, so I did have to go and buy extra standoffs. The front I/O cables are loose fitting, so I'm always having to re-plug back in the power switch. The HD audio, everything is just very loose fitting and just not great. The HD audio and the USB cables are like ribbon cables almost, so they're not very flexible, so the cable management is kind of rough in here. So there's just so many really horrible features about this case, not to mention that there is no airflow to speak of whatsoever. So I really highly recommend that you do steer away from this case and just spend an extra $20, get a $50 case. You can get great cases for that $50 price range. Please steer away from this case. And I'll also go over all of the results for this new upgrade with the R9 Fury and the 2600X. All right, starting off with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, we tested this at high settings at 1080p. All of these games were tested at 1080p. On average, Call of Duty Modern Warfare on high settings got 80.6 FPS with 1% lows of 58.8. All right, so moving on to Doom Eternal. This was tested at high settings at 1080p. The game does limit you to only high settings with the R9 Fury due to the limitation of the 4 GB of VRAM that the R9 Fury has. So unfortunately, the game will not let you go above high settings. So with high settings, we had an average frame rate of 102.5 frames per second, and we had 1% lows of 76.8. Now moving on to Far Cry 5. This was also tested on high settings at 1080p, and this had an average of 73.3 frames per second with 1% lows of 61.7. Now moving on to Rainbow Six Siege. This was tested at very high settings, also 1080p, and we got an average FPS of 130 with 1% lows of 96.4. Now on to Hitman 2 on high settings with a little mixture of medium also in there. That got 76.9 frames per second on average with 1% lows at 43.4. And Shadow of the Tomb Raider on high settings with little, and also mixed in medium settings as well. This was at 74.1 frames per second on average with a 1% low of 47.9. Next up, on the same engine, we have Deus Ex Mankind Divided at high settings with an average FPS of 58.5 and 45.3 for the 1% lows. Now, some of you were actually kind of upset that I cut out Fortnite in my testing. If you were one of those to speak up, I don't like testing Fortnite, so if you want me to keep doing it, you're gonna have to leave it in the comments, or else after this, I'm not gonna do it anymore because I really hate testing it. But Fortnite on Pro settings at 1080p, we got an average of 142.7 with 1% lows of 85.4. Now moving on to Overwatch on Ultra settings at 1080p. This had 147 frames per second average with 1% lows of 108.9. And then with PUBG, we had average FPS of 89.6 and a 1% low of 53.2, and this was on high settings at 1080p. All right, so looking over the results, this thing is a great performer for about $400, and spending an extra $120 over what we paid for that $280 gaming computer, the results show that it is quite worth it. We were playing at higher settings than when I tested the $280 gaming computer, so it's hard to compare exactly the percentage of performance boost this gaming computer gave you, but we were performing better on higher settings than they were playing on lower settings on the $280 gaming computer. But to give you somewhat comparable results, the $280 gaming computer, I tested Far Cry 5 with high settings, just like I did this computer. That one averaged 49 frames per second. This one averaged 73 frames per second. So a huge boost to performance with this $120 upgrade. So a huge performance boost when we spend an extra $120 for just a little bit extra in parts, 2 extra cores and 3 times the threads, and then also that new graphics card. This was an excellent upgrade, and I think this is the one I'm going to recommend. But as I said before, definitely steer away from this case. You can save a lot of money if you go with a different motherboard and RAM. I went with the Trident ZRGB RAM and the X470 Plus Prime from ASUS, purely for aesthetics. So if you went with this same ASRock motherboard as I went in the previous video and go with some Crucial Ballistics RAM, you can save a lot of extra money and get this price to be around $350 and still be a great performer. All right, but I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you checking in and stopping by to watch it. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button and the bell. Now, you are going to see me slowing down on my uploads. I first started this channel doing 2 uploads a week. I am going to start slowing down and I want to revamp the channel. I have a lot of ideas that I want to do that are going to make this channel a lot better than it has been in the past. I definitely want to start making more entertaining videos while still being educational in the realm of tech. So I still want to do computer builds and tutorials, all the things I have been doing. I just want to vamp it up a little bit and give you guys something a little bit more entertaining to watch. But right now in today's climate with what's going on, I do have to slow down a little bit because I'm going to need a little extra people to help to get these videos to where I want them to be. I definitely want to start creating better videos for you guys. So hopefully next time you see me, you'll get a little taste of what I have in store. But I appreciate you sticking through with me on this video, all of my subscribers that have supported me this far. Hopefully next time I'll be doing better for you. So thank you again, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.